Call this June 19th Jackson County Work Session to order. Have our roll call.
District 1, Mr. Duffy.
Present.
District 2, Mr. Venable. District 3, Ms. Gilbert.
Present.
District 4, Mr. Sisk. And Chairman is present.
We have a quorum present.
There.
Yeah, fair. We'll have our invocation. I'll do the invocation. We'll have our pledge by Mr. Dear Lord, we thank you for allowing us to be here today to serve the people of this county. We pray that you guide us in the decisions that we make going forward. We thank you for this community, and we pray that you give us strength with all the terrible things in the world. We pray that you keep us together as a community and as a country. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first item is approval of the agenda. We have 5 items on the agenda. Are there any changes before we proceed? We have a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Make a motion.
Motion in a second. Okay, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Okay, we have no one signed up to speak this afternoon, so we'll go on to our discussion items. And the first item is the certification incentive. You have a copy of the resolution, draft resolution for certification incentive. I'm not sure if we presented this at a prior work session or not. This is the resolution that's prepared basically to identify what would qualify for certifications. I have put some numbers together on this. I'll say real quickly what those are and then say that we still have some things to figure out if we move forward on. It's going to be hard to get a firm number of what this has cost because there isn't a firm list of certifications included. So the numbers I put together based on whether we want to do a 3% or 5% as it was looked at, 3% would cost us roughly $20,000 and 5% would cost us roughly $30,000 at the current point that we stand. Now there are some other certifications that we're looking at as to whether those would qualify that would include portions of public or positions for public works, for the jail, and possibly for our deputies, again depending on how we proceed on the percentage and some of the requirements that are coming through the ACCA. On item 3, Roman numeral, little Roman numeral 3, or the 3 guys there, you'll notice that there's some question marks in there. I need to finish that, but basically what we're looking for are certifications by ACCMA, the ACCA is presented, any of those professional organizations, thank you, that would qualify. And as it's stated in here, this doesn't limit it to that, but that would be kind of the guideline for these certifications. So questions or comments on this? What I would suggest, if depending on how quickly we want to move forward, would be, we could identify those that we know, and then again, because this is open somewhat, anything that falls under these requirements would be eligible for the certification increase.
Couldn't we just word it like ACCA, the ones that we know about, and any equal to, any organization equal
Yeah.
to or something?
That's how it's it says, or one that is otherwise issued by a professional organization. So it leaves it open for that.
Okay.
So any questions or comments on that?
And does this affect all employees of the county, or you said just the courthouse? Or?
It would affect anywhere where a certification is present. Right now, I know of, I know of 9 certifications based on what we've discussed with different department heads. Now, there's a possibility of more as we look further at what may be eligible for the jail and what may be eligible for public works. There may be some additional certifications there.
And that number is gonna change year to year. It ain't like,
Yeah,
these people are gonna be, getting a certification every year.
Right.
So, I mean, that's gonna change, correct?
Right. Well, that'll be the annual cost increase. It'll
Right.
only go up from there.
Well, that's what I mean, but we don't know, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? That
There's
This
no
year
way
they're
to-
gonna go.
You don't know who's gonna have the incentive to go ahead
Right.
and do it, or, So you just not want to care.
Right. But I think it's a good thing.
Other questions or comments?
It's an incentive to keep workers that have learned their job. That is one thing good. Well, did you put this on the 26th?
If that's what we choose to do, is that what we want to do?
Yeah.
Do we want to move that past?
Yeah, I'm fine with the 26th.
Okay. All right, I'll try to get a final version of this. I did email, I think I emailed this several weeks ago, but I'll try to email it again, so if there are any other questions or changes before then. Okay, next item regarding business privilege tax agreement with the city of Scottsboro. You have a copy of a memorandum of agreement. This has to do with the business privilege tax, and I know there's some questions based on opinions that were received on this. So this would make sure that is taken care of and settled. Any questions or comments on that?
What were the, without me having to take up too much time, but did we decide, or did they agree upon what it would go for? Or?
It would be requested at the time, whenever the dollars were requested, that's when it would be requested.
I just knew we tossed around 2 or 3 ideas in the past.
Yeah, I believe the state said I have to request, or make that request separately.
And then we just voted on it at that time.
Any other questions or comments? If there's no objection, we'll place this on next Monday night's agenda as well. And if you review this further and have any other questions, you can give it to myself or Mr. Porter, or we can talk about it next week. Okay, next item regarding park grant expenditure. We had a donation of $10,000 for the park to be used on the facilities out there. And Mr. Barnes has kind of outlined what he'd like to use those
I
dollars
think
on.
each one of you should have a copy of it, right? The 2 pavilions would go inside the kitty park, for people, have parties and that sort of thing, so. The others would be spent on cabins, on getting storm doors, because when they go in there now, they use the deadbolt to hold the door open. And that's going to tear that mechanism up. So, either way, we're going to have to put storm doors up or take them out of this grant money. If you had storm doors up, then you put the door stops on, then you don't have to worry about it. And the door automatically closes on you. So if you forgot your key in there, then you're just, I dropped my key in, so.
Any questions or comments on this? If there's no objection, we'll place this on the agenda for next Monday as well. Okay. Next item regarding Public Works organizational chart, and I think some changes in job descriptions. Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners. I sent you guys an email, and most of the details should be outlined in that, so I'll just kind of go over that quickly. But since our departmental reorganization, there are some areas of the org chart that were need some attention. Still some attention needed on some of those, and that one area is the shop supervisor position as described in the email. So that revision in the classification for that position would make it consistent with the new reorganized chart. And then the other items listed are basically just job description revisions to include the necessary CDL requirements that go along with the positions. And then the position and experience requirements is essentially referring to putting in the language to make it organized in steps. So, for example, there's 6 months required as an HMT1 before you can be an HMT2, and so on. So you either have to have the experience equal to or the time in at the lower position before you can move on to the next. And then in your package, you should have that org chart as it was posted at the time of that reorganization. Also on the table are the current job descriptions with some red line changes to where we've made it thus far. So what we plan on doing to move forward with this is we have this is a conversation that's been ongoing with the personnel director. And so what we'd like to do is utilize the new software, get all these job descriptions entered into that so that everything's consistent and all the areas that are addressed and uniform throughout all the positions. So we started the CDL talks back when, if you recall, back when we did the CDL incentive and the CDL requirements and the policy. So this is just trying to clean up all the details with that organizational chart and job descriptions.
So actually, this 9 should be a 10.
Yeah, according to the organizational chart, they're all on the same level there.
Really?
But we advertised and said there wouldn't be any changes to the shop at that time. So the way this structure is, not only is it shown on this org chart at the 10 level, but the job duties and responsibilities of that shop person is equal with that of a supervisor. So that's why we're proposing this.
So questions or comments on any of that? And the other two items in the CDL endorsement and the 6 month.
Yes, sir.
Any questions or comments on any of that?
Well, not exactly on that subject, but we've had this typed up or anything. Will this be something we'll be able to put on our website?
Yeah,
Under employment area?
we've got a program where we plan to go and put all of our job descriptions in that program and get them fully updated on there, and that's what we'll use to post. But right now, this is what we've been working off of.
Yeah, that would make it great for the public, you know?
That's right. Yeah, we can put more information on that.
We're hopeful we'll have all these job descriptions turned around. Looks like a pretty lengthy questionnaire for each description, so we'll be working with the personnel director on getting that, but we plan to submit all that for your review and approval.
Any other questions at this time? If there's no objection, we'll place that on next week's agenda as well. Okay, final items of litigation and solvents for year 2016. Mr. Porter will be able to explain this a lot better next week. This is something we do annually. My understanding is that it was the comptroller on the final collection, tax collections. You know about this part? No. So any questions or comments on this? We'll get the revenue
Last
commissioner.
year,
Right.
year before, year before.
And the revenue commissioner, of course, will give a much better explanation.
I just look over it and get with him.
So this is something that, if possible, we need by the end of this month, so if we can put this on the next agenda as well. Okay, that concludes the items on our agenda, so we'll move on to reports. Does anybody have anything? Yes.
Just mentioning the 2018 budget process is underway now officially, so.
I read it off your email
All
today.
the have your letters, and we'll be scheduling the individual department meetings and inviting certain ones to attend, so it is that time of year, so here we go again.
Prefer as
Seems
much
like
as
we just
possible
got
in
through
July.
with it.
Do what?
Feel like we just got done with the last one.
Anything else?
That's it for me.
I'm sorry?
Mr. Bowman?
Restaurant should open up Wednesday. Oh,
Mr. Stewart?
No, sir.
Mr. Jeffrey?
Our community meeting will be in Bridgeport at the community center on July the 10th at 5:30. Just wanna make sure we keep bringing that up every week, so
We need to
we'll get
get
a
a
good
flyer out on
turnout.
that. And start spreading it on social media.
Yes.
If you'll get me a few of them, hard copy, I'm going to get back and forth to school. I'll try to get them in, like the library, different places around town, and Bubba knows to announce it, maybe. That's what Rick did the other day for us.
We'll have that community meeting. That is to discuss a possible annexation of County Road 98. Thank you. And we're looking at letting that suffice for our work session and meeting for the first 2 weeks of July due to the holiday schedule and everything. So we plan to vote on that next week. So most likely we'll just meet on the 10th for the community meeting and then move on to the 17th and 24th for our regular work session and meeting.
You said Bridgeport, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's where we had the chamber breakfast, the senior center's what, I think they refer to it.
Okay, that concludes everything. We'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion, may I have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no.